Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Meghan Markle spoke out about her mental health during the last episode of her podcast series, Archetypes, on Spotify. The Duchess of Sussex didn't hesitate to discuss how she reached out to a therapist for help when she was at her worst point. She said it was only after her husband, Prince Harry, found her a referral. The latest Archetypes episode, titled The Decoding of Crazy, features discussions of the Duchess with Indian actress Deepika Padukone, American comedian Jenny Slate, and American actress Constance Wu. The 55-minute episode focuses on the stereotypes around women's mental health and the negative labels women are being given for speaking out about it. Meghan, 41, said that she remembers being at her worst point when Harry found a referral for her and she finally got in touch with a therapist. She listened to Padukone's story about her own mental health struggles, to which Meghan replied, "You found the courage to get the help that you needed and the help that works for you," and then went on to tell her own story. "I think at my worst point, being finally connected to someone that, my husband had found a referral for me to call, and I called this woman. She didn't know I was even calling her. She was checking out at a grocery store. I could hear the little bip bip, and I said hi, and I am introducing myself. And I could literally hear her going, 'Who is this?' and saying I need help, and she could hear the dire state that I was in. But I think it's for all of us to be really honest about what it is that you need and to not be afraid to ask for it." The episode began with Meghan telling listeners, "Raise your hand if you've ever been called crazy or hysterical, or what about nuts? Insane, out of your mind, completely irrational. Okay, you get the point. Now, if we were all in the same room and you could see each other, I think it would be pretty easy to see just how many of us have our hands up. By the way, me too." Meghan added, "Calling someone crazy or hysterical completely dismisses their experiences and minimises what they're feeling. It keeps going to the point where anyone who's been labelled it enough times can be gaslit into thinking they're actually unwell, or sometimes worse, to the point where real issues of all kinds get ignored. Well, that's not happening today." The Duchess cited the word hysteria coming from the Greek for womb, saying Plato himself was actually among the Greek philosophers who believed that the womb would travel around the body, adding pressure to other organs, which would then lead to erratic and unreliable behaviour. By the way, the DSM, the book to diagnose mental disorders, hysteria was an actual medical diagnosis until 1980. Slate said, "Hysteria, craziness, like it's a disease of the people with the uteri, like the people with the emotions. It is a definition created by a man. It's a definition meant to shame and limit a certain type of experience." Bollywood star Padukone detailed her own mental health struggles and how she ended up in a dark place. The 36-year-old said, "You just feel hopeless. There is this feeling of emptiness and hollowness and hopelessness." She got help after talking to a family friend who was a counsellor and set up a foundation called Live, Love, Laugh to help those living with mental health issues. Constance Wu said she was scared she would be fired from Fresh Off the Boat if she made sexual harassment allegations public. The 40-year-old actress said she felt emotional after being repressed by a producer on the show who she's not named. The Crazy Rich Asians and Hustler star spoke to the Duchess of Sussex on her podcast, Archetypes, released on Tuesday. She also told Meghan about how her suicide attempt followed the backlash she received over a tweet. Wu, who began in Fresh Off the Boat in 2015, tweeted in 2019 when the show was picked up for a 6th season by US TV network ABC. She wrote, "So upset right now that I'm literally crying. Ugh, fuck." She told Meghan, "People don't know that the first year I was going through sexual harassment by one of the producers and intimidation, and I think part of the reason my outburst on Twitter 3 years ago over the show's renewal was so seemingly out of character is because it was the build-up of several years of repressing a type of abuse that I had encountered at the hands of a producer. Literally at the hands of a producer. I was so scared that any wrong move I did, I'd get fired." Thanks for listening. Please like, comment and subscribe.